Hey guys, it's xNira,
And Roltair.
And IDCSAO.
and this is a bit different from the content we've done before. You may have noticed it's about 40 minutes long, and you may have also noticed that there is no accompanying video. It's just an audio experience. Some of you might even call it a podcast. In any case, we hope you enjoy as we experiment with this different format. So, do you guys think the meta is in a good place, and has IS made appropriate changes to try and address the imbalances that we've had in the meta? Because there's clearly have been some imbalances in the almost 1 year that the game's been out.
I feel like it heavily gets to like one emblem type every time they change it. But I don't think anything is so OP that it can't be countered. I just don't like that you have to pull for a specific new unit to counter it sometimes.
Like, what would be like an example of that?
Well, Makai with the tome that beats cavalry and armored units.
Yeah. I kind of was annoyed by that it was effective, but apparently that's what it was in her original game.
Yeah, it is.
But I think they still should have like adjusted it because, you know, we have like Roy, whose sword has obviously clearly been modified from its original abilities.
Very much so.
I'm just kind of glad they haven't taken like a full power creep type of method like most mobile games do. Because, like, you can still play you can still play characters from that was released from the very beginning of the game and you'll still be fine. But, like, you know, Makai doesn't, like, add anything that's just way too broken that you have to use her to, like, beat the current meta. Everything's still, like, the same.
Yeah.
Like, she adds some, but, like, she doesn't, like, fucking take anything away from anyone.
I was gonna say, especially given that for the blue mages, like, that we didn't have kind of a unit with her stat spread because like red has like Sanaki and green Hannah has like Julia and Deirdre, and then Delthea was maybe similar, but I feel like Micaiah she's just like her stat spread is like not necessarily as redundant with other units that have already come out.
Yeah.
Also, like, with her tome and she's blue, she really hits like a really small area of like the armored or horse emblem, so it's not too much of a big deal.
Do you see a lot of green horses?
No. No, but like with like, you know, the gun throw and like, you know, it's just there's so many options now. But like I doubt she's gonna do any like massive impact. Like just the amount of like red armored units out there is like pretty slim. Like I don't see it often. Like, you know, the most favored armored units still like the greens, like Hector, Amelia, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, I think I see a fair amount of Draug when I'm doing arena stuff, when I'm getting full armor team, like full +10 armor teams. Because like the red armor pool, I feel like is not necessarily as explored, and plus a lot of it is limited now by like Arden and Black Knight.
Like Black Knight and, you know, Tharja.
Oh, that's why I feel like I've seen so many more +10 Zelgiuses, because he's like the first like good red. I mean, not that Draug was bad, but he's the first like +10able, and so people are really enthusiastic about that. I mean, like you know, people who are running full +10 armored teams.
Yeah, I ran into him today, and I was not looking forward to that fight. I feel like the direction they should try to do, which is kind of a big change, but I feel like it should work because it's kind of business oriented, is that to give us an option to spend orbs for skills rather than just units that have the skills.
Do you mean like, you know, you can combine Defiant, like a 2 Defiance to get like a Brazen?
No, I mean
it's more like just purchase the skill instead of like, you know, having to try and pull it.
Well, not. I feel like that wouldn't work for the business model, but like instead of having units that you could randomly get from an orb, you have skills you can randomly get from an orb.
I feel like that would definitely appeal a lot more to whales and people.
If it was like something like that, it would be like maybe like 3 orbs instead of like spending 5 for like, cheap random skills. That would be probably like beneficial.
But then you'd have the issue of, well, you could have like focus or something like that, and there could be like a focus of like wrath and quick repose and something else. But then you might get like resistance +3 all the time or something like that, and just be really sad.
Or it could be just a random. It could be the same thing where it's just like A skills, B skills, C skills, specials.
Yeah.
You know, just all in those categories. It's just randomized, whatever you get.
So some people actually like the units that they have. They don't have the skills they want on them, so that gives them a chance to get them the skills they want. But since it's random, they're not exactly losing out money on people not wanting to pull for new units instead.
I reckon the AI is fine because you can't have like a full broken AI that just knows what it's doing, because like we won't be able to fight that properly.
You wouldn't want a smarter AI in control of the enemy for Arena and Arena Assault?
I feel like
No.
that would be half and half. Well, I don't know about half and half, but I feel like it'd be a very divided thing.
Yeah, it'll be like very difficult. Like if I would imagine if they did like the beginner, intermediate, and like the hard. If they actually like changed the AI for that, then that'll be more fun. At least person's like willing to play against a harder AI.
Yeah. I feel like I would be really happy to see changes to the AI with like dancing, like having, because sometimes like the dancer just moves first and it's like, well, that was silly. Like, why did you do that? And it would be fairly easy just to have a little bit of like, oh, if there's a dancer, like have a different unit move first, then have the dancer
There's
move last.
been a few discussions on my server where people were like talking about the AI has suddenly changed like their patterns. But like I really haven't seen the difference really yet.
I don't think they've changed.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But, like,
But I'm gonna skip ahead to a topic we had later just because it fits now. You asked if we should have added difficulty for Arena. Maybe the added difficulty will be a harder AI.
or they just like make the opponent's arena units like more dumb. Like add 50% more HP, have their skills like already procced, ready to go. Something dumb like that. That's just Inferno.
There are definitely games that, because they can't program a smarter AI, they compensate by just giving the AI a ton of buffs. So like they could just, if we wanted a harder level, like just for Arena, you could have like you could have like infernal difficulty, and they could just add +4 stats to everyone. But I don't think that would be more fun.
It'll be funny, but
What?
like it's just not on. It's not like you're fighting an actual person though. It doesn't make up for it, but it's just different.
I don't think I want to fight these broken armored units with even more stats.
I don't want to fight like a Hector with a Ether ready to go.
Yeah, fucking like 40
that's-
speed Hector or
that's
something.
dumb.
I'm not looking forward to that. Or 50 speed Amelia or something ridiculous.
They don't even need speed anymore. They just break everything with Bolt Fighter.
That's true, yeah. We just had these like kind of trenches added in the recent Oliver Grand Hero battle. Do you guys want to see more stuff like that to try and balance units? It seems like they're trying to address the power of Horse Emblem by changing the maps and not just having unit side or ability side counters to that.
Well, they said that they're going to be adding the terrains into the arena the next season, which is in a couple days.
They're not affecting like the current meta, which is armor units now.
Yeah, well, the fact that armor units just like pass over forest with armor march, I think was stupid. Like they should not have. They shouldn't have done that. That was such a mistake.
I think they're doing it a bit late now. It's just oh, this unit was broken last year. We'll add it now. Armor march is dumb because all I think of like the armored units now are like bulldozers. They just walk past 2 patches of forest and like, yeah, no problem. If they were to add like the terrain like they did in like the Fire Emblem games, like on the fucking Game Boy, like if they made forest, if your unit was in a forest tile, you would have like +1 defense and 20% dodge, which does not matter in this game. And like, your infantry units can climb mountains again, and desert tiles will actually hinder your movement. Like,
well, we would need bigger maps and more movement for everything to kind of compensate for that.
But like, the map's already just small enough, so it doesn't really matter.
Desert tiles slowing cavalry would be really interesting. Like, I didn't think about that. That might be fun.
But then, like, it would be scary to know that your infantry and your armored units are just moving at the same time.
Well, I thought the thing for desert tiles was that only mages and daggers actually moved at normal speed.
I have no clue. in the other Fire Emblem games was if you're standing on the mountain, you did like extra. I think it was extra damage, like +1 attack. That was it.
Hmm.
And that's why like the forest tiles was like +1 defense because you're in the trees, you're harder to hit.
Yeah.
Whatever thingy they thought up then. And it's the same with the mountains. You have the high ground.
Yeah, I was also thinking about like height terrain and like maybe you could have some differences with like range units attacking. Like if like a ranged unit has a high ground, maybe like the unit they're attacking can't counterattack or something weird like that.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And also because the people were talking about how to change pass and obstruct so that they were sort of useful. And the people like this was a while ago, but it was like a Reddit thread, and the people for the suggestion for obstruct was to make it so that you couldn't have ranged attacks going over the obstruct unit, which would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, that would.
I don't know, they didn't come up with anything for pass. The pass is just hopeless, I think. But I think that would be an interesting if like I had terrain features like that. But then I think also quick impulse and maybe guard on terrain tiles might be interesting, but I don't know like lore wise how that would work out.
They can create lore for it so that we actually get some story in this game.
Like they pick up like a drug or something and they just got faster with their cooldowns all of a sudden. It's just like we found this purple vial.
Now that we have like these seasonal units, like I feel like we're gonna get something like Dragon Veins where you can like a unit with a conferred blessing can use like a Dragon Vein or something like that. Might be interesting if they did.
My idea for the terrain map was to maybe have a terrain type that disadvantaged one movement type each week. So for like armored units, there may be like some tile that they couldn't walk over, or else they would get stuck in it, so they had to walk around it. I can't use armor march through it. Flyers maybe have like choke points or whatever that they can't easily do position tactics with. Or maybe just even on maps that require flyers so that you can't always use the same kind of teams each week.
I feel like a lot of people have a setup where they have like 3 core units and then 1 unit that just swaps out for the bonus. Do you think that should like people should have to change more than 1 unit per week?
If I was being forced to change my whole team every week, I would just be like Steve's. I just rather not.
Okay.
People would just be like, oh, I favorite these 4 units too much. I can't be bothered.
Well, I like using my core, but at the same time, I've invested in so many units that I just don't use. I want a reason to use them.
And I'm the opposite. I've only trained 4 units.
So what do you do for Arena Assault? Like, how does that go?
I just play my 3 units and the 1 bonus unit that just so happened to work out for me, which is just happens to be a dancer or a healer, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good to go. Do a deathless run. If I can't do it, I sieves. I do have one more like tile thing that can be implemented, but it can be a very dumb thing. In Fire Emblem, there were mortars or like giant crossbow.
Oh, the
things.
ballistas?
Yeah, the ballistas. Like, archers can use.
Oh my god.
That would be funny, right? That would be a really dumb, funny idea to have in the fucking arena.
Rip Flyer.
Yeah, like that would just destroy Fire Emblem.
And yeah, movement is still just 1.
Well, I remember, like, aren't ballistas like I'm thinking of that map in Fates where you have like where Camilla and Baruka join, and you have those stationary, like they're just like stations that you can go to. Like that's what I was thinking of.
I was thinking of the Fire Emblem 7. There's ballistas that you can take over and just take with you if you're just bothered taking that slow ass ballista for whatever reason you want. But like it's movable, but like maybe like 5 tiles if I remember correctly.
I think 5 tiles on the maps we have would be pretty devastating.
It's scary already.
And I wonder then how the interaction would be with distant counter, because it says regardless of distance.
I can only imagine. Regardless,
like
they had to write regardless. Then now they just it sounds dumb.
I wonder if we'll ever get like an A slot ability for archers that increases their range to 3. That would be kind of interesting.
That would be very scary to like brave bows.
Yeah. Well, I just mean like it's this kind of stuff that introduces people to actual stuff in the Fire Emblem game. So I feel like it could be fun, but at the same time, it could be very divisive.
If they had that increase, they could just sit behind 2 mountains and be like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah, the distant counter text is enables counterattack regardless of distance to attacker. So then you could have your ballista like 5 tiles away, and Hector's just like throwing like Armads as a boomerang or something, and it comes back a year later.
But according to the animation, he just jumps to the user.
Yeah,
So he just
And then
just
jumps
there.
back magically.
he's Hector, man.
in all his full suit of armor. Also, just to be clear, like I feel like we all agree that they should just make the maps bigger, right?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Yeah.
It will be more fun. But like I have a problem with that is just maybe my fat fingers will like, press the wrong tile or something, That's the only problem I can think of.
You could do like 2 fingers to like drag around the map, and then just like 1 finger to like be whatever.
It would be cool if you could like enlarge the map or anything, like your 2 fingers zoom in, zoom out.
Oh yeah.
you know.
Or they could just
That would
add
be pretty
another
cool.
button at the bottom of the screen next to like the 5 buttons we've got already down there.
Talking
Yeah.
about that would be cool if there was like a global, like just giant ass map where you can see other players fighting units. It's just some huge ass world where you just see other units fighting others and you're just there.
We could just make an MMORPG like MVD. Like let's just
that would be pretty cool.
update 3.0 coming soon.
Yeah, it's just- we now include that you can battle the armies of the world.
Now moving on to the next question. What would you guys want to see in the guilds feature or updates to the friends list feature that we already have?
Being able to use friends for any game type.
I had like an idea for like the game where there was a game mode where you could like pick 3 of your friends and then you play 1 of your own, but like your friends are AI controlled,
Yeah.
so there's
yeah.
like an added difficulty. So it's like player phase, ally phase, enemy phase, and then if your allies just die off and be dumb, it's just more harder for you to carry.
There's
It's just be funny.
I used to play like some other like kind of gotcha phone games, and this is actually in the server, I believe, but they were like game modes where it was basically like an AFK auto clear, and like the goal was to see how far your team could get in a certain like map, or like if it was like an endless
was
map, it being totally AI controlled.
There was a, I believe I know what game you're talking about. It's like called Endless War or something.
I think a lot of games have them. That's why I think
Yeah.
they were asking about it in the last survey. I don't think it's super fun. And also the other thing that comes to mind are, I only think of this because I've been playing Divinity 2. I don't know if you guys have played that at all. But there's this one mode where you have to like protect this NPC for so many turns. But the NPC is like their personality just demands that they fight for their honor or whatever, and so they constantly they just kill themselves constantly, and it's so annoying, and it's just super frustrating when you have to stall for a certain number of turns, or there's like reinforcements or something, and like the AI just kills itself, and it doesn't make for a super fun player experience.
I can imagine like a game mode where you're just defending Zephyel's castle or something, and he's just like, but I want to go outside and explore. Screw the castle where it's safe. I just want to go outside and probably get wrecked by Ursula or something.
There's one of the Xenologues, I think, in Awakening, is a defend. This make minor spoilers, I guess, but like Tiki is like sleeping or something, and you have to defend her for so many turns, and she just like stays in the middle, and there's like 3 paths that. Do you guys remember the level I'm talking about?
Yes.
Very vaguely, but yes.
Yeah, but so she's like asleep, and it would just be like, imagine that level if like she woke up and like was moving around and also didn't have a dragonstone on her. It's just like, why would you do that?
So it's just some unarmed child, like, yeah let's kill her. And she's just walking around.
Would definitely be a different mode to have some fun with.
And also because like even in Gauntlet, we see people trolling their teammates with like unequipped level 1 Reeses. Like,
Yeah.
Not anymore.
yeah. The other thing I was thinking about for the friends list is like, I feel like you should be able to play people's first team on your friends list as like a kind of like a fun mode sort of thing, but like doesn't have any stakes. Maybe you could farm like badges or something stupid. Well, now badges aren't stupid, but
yeah.
You could farm,
I also had the idea where like you could have like a build mode where you can build your own map and then you put your own team there, and then your friends could just challenge it if they wanted to.
Suddenly it'd be
no matter how one-sided it could be. Like you can build it to like the point where the team that you're gonna play against is just built in a wall or something, and they just can't leave. You know, that's just the most trolly thing. Like the only way you can get out if you smite your units one at a time.
Oh my god.
And then like, you know, a horse emblem comes out and just wrecks you.
There's like the Shadows of Valencia map that has that one tile that you can be smited to and then just surrounded by
You're just
water.
stuck on an island.
I feel like
Yeah.
IS will only make that mistake once.
Like I wanted to make a video idea where why Fire Emblem doesn't make multiplayer, and it's just a video of me smiting like a teammate of mine into like that island, and they just can't leave.
Honestly, like that's probably what would happen.
It's just troll. It's just you're not gonna leave that island.
What about I kind of see these two issues as linked, but what do you guys think about like real-time PvP?
For mobile games, I've seen. I think it could be an issue where people just leave when they're about to lose or something. You know, that can get kind of frustrating. You know.
Yeah.
Especially when they try and add a system where you have to resync with your like, opponent. That will get just annoying.
Yeah, as long as there isn't any ranking or anything tied to it, I don't think I'd have an issue with it.
Yeah, maybe just for people on your friends list or something like that.
It'll give people like a good reason to wanting to try and play it though. Like, you know, they need to be rewarded with something out of it. Like crystals is the only thing I can think of. But like you are playing with a friend, so it's kind of weird because you could just make an ult and they just constantly farm.
That's true. I really would like to see like real-time PvP, but it'd have to have a lot of like caveats.
I can imagine it being so boring where it's just two people are camping to each side of the corner of the map. I was like, no, you attack me first. It's just like two Irishmen trying to fight each other. It's just, you punch me first, mate. Nah.
Yeah, I feel like it. I was talking to someone about this, but it would have to have like if you were gonna like reward people, like, you know, you get like more crystals for, you know, doing better, like you'd have to have like a time, like a turn limit or like a turn incentive, like a low turn incentive, because people would just like wait until the other person rage quits or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially if someone was playing with like one horse unit, it's just circling them. It's just, I don't want to play with you anymore.
Well, that's why I build units that can actually take hits so that I don't have to worry about being bum rushed from a mile away.
Although someday, hopefully not, when they introduce the, you know, the circus act dancing horse unit, you'll get like Reinhardt just bolting across the map to kill somebody.
Very scary to think about that.
But if they increase the map size, it hopefully won't be an issue.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't just be out in the open by themselves.
I kind of wonder how they're going to implement the, oh god, I can't remember, like the new tiles against like the anti-horse tiles, trenches. Like if they're going to just make new maps that use them and like include those in the rotation, or they're gonna like change previous maps we already have.
They're a new map. I think they're.
I don't think they'll change the previous ones because they did the same thing with defensive tiles. They didn't they just made new maps. Because like I don't, if I was a horse emblem unit, I don't want to be restricted on every map. I would just kind of be annoyed.
I would want like, this would be like stupid, but I would love to see trenches on like the boat map with the blocks in the middle. But I just hate that map so much. It's so like, it feels very like uncreative and frustrating.
The only map I really hate is the one with two long walls. I hate that map the most.
On the left and the right?
Like each side has like 4, but you start on the left and there's like that one's stupid and the bridge map is stupid, I think.
It's annoying because recently I did an arena run and I got that map like 5 times. And I was just like, I hate this map so much.
Lately it's been frustrating for me because of the armor march, just like,
yeah,
because there's a tree tile in the middle, and like normally it's like, oh, like I have a choke point, but then armor march, and it's just like, nope, they're just gonna like catapult over.
Yeah.
Yeah, what tree? It looks like a shrub to me.
Yeah. Like,
I was thinking maybe having like a guild arena where again you have one of your unit and then the other 3 units are guild member units, but you can actually control them.
I'll love to see if they add like a raid system where you like your guild units are like just there fighting something massively OP.
That would be huge spoilers, though, I feel like, for some of the games. Like, if they actually took, like, endgame bosses.
They spoiled enough for the game that I'm not surprised, you know. The game is spoilers.
I obviously, like, we have had now, like, Zelgius, which is, like, I didn't know about that, so that was unfortunate. But I feel like there's relatively few for the amount of units we have.
Yeah, I think it's only about 4 units that have spoilers.
I mean, they're not going to do anything that's outright spoilers. Like, you know, you're not going to end up summoning a Hector and he's just like, oh, it's a dead one. Okay.
Okay, well.
I mean, they did spoil that, though.
Yeah, they did that in the Tempest trial, but, like, it was very minor. But, like, you have to play the game to actually know what the spoiler's talking about. Sometimes you will just see it and then you're like, just shrug it off. Like, some of the spoilers, but, like, not obvious ones, like, you know, names or, you know, who someone's identity is.
I was gonna be highly amused if they had called the performing arts xNira, like, you know, random dancer from whatever that city is called, and if it's like, that would have been really funny. Like, that would have been like, man, like, I just got a sense of humor if they had done that. But
Well, they clearly do have a sense of humor with Oliver.
yeah, true. That's a good point.
They even gave him jiggle physics for his stomach.
They
You know,
did?
if you have your Oliver now, just tap on his animation. Like, you know how you can check your character's like poker decks screen, whatever.
Yeah.
Just keep constantly tapping him. You'll see his stomach jiggle.
Oh my goodness.
It's pretty funny. Oliver's jiggle physics was just so apparent. Like, I couldn't unnotice it.
Okay, yeah, that is very apparent.
His sprite
Yeah.
just feels larger than other sprites.
Of course, I think it's a new sprite though. Like, instead of like the regular cylinder body shape they gave like all the other units because they have the exact same size. Oliver's like actually a boulder shape, which is pretty cool. So his is actually quite unique compared to everyone else. Because looking at the game files, you can see that every unit has the same cylinder shape. If they're an armor unit, they just have layers on top, which is like what Hector does. But without all that armor, Hector's the same size as every other unit.
Like, he's taller than any of the other units we have.
He's massive.
That was an exciting tangent. Anyways, on the survey that recently went out, they had a question about introducing a town system. I assume, like, similar to the one we had in Fates, where you could, like, kind of build it up and place buildings, and it would, like, make resources for you and you could do stuff with those resources. Well, that's I guess part of the question. Like, that's what I thought they meant by a town system. What did you guys think?
I kind of had the same impression.
My idea was it was more like just, you know how in the battle tab you can press on it and you can go to the training tower or that. Instead of like just those icons, it's like an actual town you can just go to. You know, if you want to go to the arena, you click the arena tower. You know, if you want to go to the training tower, you click on the training tower. It's like an actual town instead of just a map.
So, like, the home screen, but like a town instead of the castle.
Yeah, it's like a hound. Yeah, it's like every other mobile game town type of thing, but like, you know, for Fire Emblem. People might want to explore like whatever we are in Askar or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
We want to walk to that summoning tower, whatever bullshit gives us. We want to go to it. We've seen the trailer. We've been zoomed into it, you know. Cool. People want to click on that thing.
I wonder if, like, IS didn't think, if they realized, like, that the game would still be, like, really popular. Like, I feel like they should have done a better job on the plot.
I reckon they did it on the side and they didn't think it would be as popular as it was. So they're just like, oh, we'll probably expand it and make it a little better than it was before. Because then it just felt like a bit of like fan service. It's just, you know, a bit of fun.
I think they expected people to be happy with just fan service with their favorite units, but we evolved beyond that.
We're a cultured community.
We screech at each other. It's just the beauty of this culture. Your unit is garbage. No, your unit is garbage. Or your green unit can lose to a red unit.
I love hearing that discussion, like that defense, or that way to diss someone else's unit. Like,
your Hector is so bad it loses to my Tiki. What? You built it completely to counter my unit. What did you expect?
moving on to the last question.
I reckon the game is good as it is. It's just as all games go, like we'll eventually be bored of it. Like it's cool that they're bringing out like fresh content, like Grand Hero battles, Mount Hero battles, like constantly. Like it's consistent. Like they give us a lot of content compared to like other mobile games. You know,
I feel like that's a very debatable topic.
mobile games that I played in the past, I would say then. I can't really think of anything to stop a game from dying. It's just, since it's a mobile game, they'll probably shut down the server like eventually.
I think the issue is they give us so many new things, but they don't give us anything to do with those new things. And that's the direction change I want to see.
Yeah, the content that they give us, aside from Tempest Trials and Voting Gauntlet, which like both have like glaring issues, they give us like Grand Hero Battle, but then people clear it in the first 2 hours, and it's like, it's not that they need to give us like harder map designs, but just like formats of contents that aren't just like one-off maps. Like I wonder if we get like a chain challenge type of like Grand Hero Battle or something.
It just feels kind of minor because we thrash it out within like the 1 hour it comes out. But like if you see like the average Joe player that's just like, I just finished Lunatic just now. It's just, we can't compare it. It was just they're having the blast of their time spending 50 stamina potions on Lunatic, and here we go, just beat it on the first try on Inferno.
That's a good point.
We made it to the point where we even start soloing the Grand Hero battles with like a unit. We challenge ourselves as well. We all can feel it, but we like make content for ourselves, like to enjoy, or the challenge.
I feel like that comes partly from the main games, because like I remember I would do like Lunatic runs with like, for like Awakening, because I mostly played Awakening, like Lunatic runs with like, if I like just use Grom, or like just use Grom in the avatar, or like have all sorts of like restrictions on stuff to make it fresh and keep getting playtime out of it.
I just feel like there's a lot more that they could do to give us to do that isn't just giving us new things to earn orbs to get more new things and not be able to do anything with them.
What would you like to see?
Something to work towards, like give us a way to get materials to build up a lot more units than just maybe the core that we have. Like I know I would use so many more units if I could get skills and refining stones for them.
If they gave us more ways to build more units, do you think like Arena Assault is like enough of a venue to motivate you to use other units?
No.
I want to see an arena chain. That will be fun.
Isn't that what Arena Assault is?
No, you have to use the same team no matter how broken, damaged, or hurt they are throughout all 7 fights.
That would be interesting. But that wouldn't necessarily motivate you to use a wider variety of units.
No, but it will give you a challenge, which this game needs to do.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to do a Deathless run with just like 7 different battles, but like if you're using like a half-dead Hector or something, it's just like, wow, this is hard.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying about the terrain maps that have a different terrain disadvantage per week, so that you kind of have to use different units each week.
It pains players like me. It's just, I've got one team, man, you can't do this to me.
Oh, I mean, if they gave us the resources to actually build more teams, would you be more open to it?
No, I refuse to change. It's just like it's one team, man. It's like you, Roltair. Would you play anything else besides Roy? Like just like one day in arena is just like you can't use Roy anymore. You know how scary that sounds? It's just upsetting.
I could get by though because I have other built units.
Do you guys, okay, here's the question. Do you guys think that there are more people like IDC who have just their one team, or more people like Roltair, not necessarily like whaling, but a wider...
I can see people copycatting like other YouTubers they watch. Like, from what I've noticed, people just copy my team and they just roll with it. Like, I get like hundreds of Twitter photos like, look, I found an IDC copycat. I'm like, oh, that's cute. It's quite a quirky build, but it's funny because he just doesn't die now. He's never on 1 HP. He's actually living a healthy life once in a while.
But living on the edge is so fun. Did you see most of my battles with Roy?
Well, have you ever seen like my old battles? It's just like I throw him in the middle of an enemy team, and he comes out with 1 HP. I'm like, I'm torturing my own unit like this. But when I give him the carrot axe, he decimates the enemy team and he comes out with full HP. I'm like, this is so much better.
I wish I had that luxury, but there's no carrot sword.
Screw your carrot sword, man.
You can run the one seasonal sword that only buffs allies for your solos.
Yeah, what the heck, guys?
At least you got a blade. I like playing a really defensive style where I'm the one who gets hit first and I punish later.
I like that style, but I also like to be able to do both so that I'm not restricted.
Yeah, you have some really, really interesting builds, whereas, yeah, I feel like I'm a lot like IDC. Like, I just am very much enemy phase oriented. I don't like doing anything on player phase.
I just don't want to do anything. I can be lazy and they do all the work and kill themselves, you know? It helps.
It is kind of fun, like the Warriors maps. It's fun just to like throw out one unit and just see everyone suicide on them. It makes you feel kind of cool or whatever.
It makes you feel strong, like badass.
But did either of you get the Warriors game?
No.
I'm thinking about getting it.
I was actually thinking about getting a Switch and just for the game, right? But then I got distracted by Destiny 2, which I only played for like 2 months. So it might have been better if I got the Warriors game.
Yeah, I've had a Switch since March, and Fire Emblem Warriors was the first Switch game I got.
I feel silly to buy a Switch right now for just Warriors, though. Like, maybe when the next, like, full, like, regular title Fire Emblem comes out on Switch, I'll get a Switch.
If I got a Switch, I can justify to myself, oh, I'm going to just go play Odyssey now. But, like, Odyssey's, like, off now. It's too late. I can't jump on it now.
What did you think about Warriors?
Yeah, what do you think of Warriors?
I like it. I mean, yeah, it's the Muso style game, but there's a lot more mission types than what Heroes has. And you kind of have to use some of your other units. You can't always just use that one OP unit.
That's bullshit.
I would want to use just one unit.
But if Hector was there, I will only want to use one unit the whole time. Like, I don't care how slow Hector runs or walks. It's just, I want to use him.
Yeah, but you have objectives where, like, you have to, like,
screw the objective. Screw saving people. I just want to be Hector. If Hector can't get there in time, he's dead. They're dead, you know? I give up.
Plus the objectives, like, I remember, like, I watched, like, a couple Let's Players doing that, and the two twins, or whatever, the siblings, just look unbelievably boring. Like, you thought Alphonse and Sharon were boring? These guys look somehow more boring to me. Like,
they're just so generic now.
They're like so generic, and like Sharon and like Alphonse feel generic already, and it's like how is that even possible that they got more generic?
It's because Fire Emblem has like almost hit every character they can think of. Is like, all right, now we need normal people in this game.
I don't know. The boy especially just seems super annoying.
It's funny because they're so normal that they need to summon helpers that were not normal, you know? It's like, we're too normal for this fight. We need unbelievably strong people to help us. How should we wrap it up?
Say if you guys had any parting last thoughts, points you guys wanted to say, or anything like that. I don't have any, so...
Subscribe to all of us.
Yeah, subscribe. Comment below. Give us a like.
Give us more topics to talk about.
Yeah, I think hopefully we will get together again on the anniversary and maybe talk again about whatever happens. Because hopefully something will happen. Like, something's got to happen. So there should be something to talk about then. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you all later.